Well, I'm sure this surprises none of you, but yet another woke university has plummeted in the free speech rankings because, as we know, universities offer the same levels of free speech as China or North Korea do. We had Eton College recently in hot water suspending its staff because they called out the lunacy surrounding radical feminist indoctrination, and places like Oxford are obviously no different, having been in the so-called red group for free speech since 2018 at least. Cambridge are now being called out because they are in danger of being the wokest of them all, having, like I said, been dropped into the red group by the latest study on this topic. As we know, everything is an outrage, and they constantly bow down to various movements like the cucks that they are, destroying their credibility even more, which, let me tell you, is at a piss poor rating at the moment. In fact, 35% of universities are in the same red group, with just 14% in the green group for free speech. So I would say not many of them are actually in a good spot right now. The amber has 51% unless you're Diane Abbott, but means they are on the edge of going either way. Red is usually the way they go these days because free speech is dead in the education system, and actually in life in general. But the Telegraph picked up on this, so let's take a quick look at what they actually had to say. It says Cambridge University plunges into red category for free speech amid rises of cancel culture. Because obviously, like we all know, free speech is well and truly dead in the education system, and especially at universities. The amount of Marxist indoctrinated shitweasels that make up the ranks of universities is incredible. It's probably more there than it is anywhere else. Cambridge University has plunged into the red category for free speech following instances of no platforming and the rise of cancel culture, according to a new ranking. The 800-year-old institution was placed in the worst group for free speech by the think tank Civitas, which analysed university policies as well as events and actions on campus over the last 3 years, which means they had no chance of being anywhere but in the red category given what we have seen ever since essentially Donald Trump took over in America. Well, I'd say since then, it's actually got worse since then. It was going on long before. Researchers cited dozens of examples of general controversies pertaining to free speech, as well as petitions and open letters and instances of speakers being uninvited. Yeah, how many times do people go to speak at a college, university, or even anywhere else and then get cancelled because some fucking action group don't like them or think they're a Nazi or some crap like this? When, as we all know, they are never none of these things. They are usually just someone that the left doesn't like. They noted an instance earlier this year where Gonville and Caius, one of the university's oldest colleges, announced its intention to remove a commemorative window to the eugenicist Sir Ronald Fisher following a student campaign, because obviously the students dictate what goes on in a university that has been there for 800 years. Well, they shouldn't, but in this day and age, obviously they do. Students had petitioned the college to remove the memorial window dedicated to Sir Fisher, who was a fellow and later president at Gonville and Caius. He died in 1962. They also cited a survey which found that nearly a third of university staff said they had experienced bullying and harassment in the workplace. Yeah, from the fucking students, no doubt. Or should I say, from the activist groups within the student base, that is for sure. A previous free speech ranking for universities carried out by the online magazine Spiked in 2018, using slightly different metrics, placed Cambridge in the amber category. Oxford was also placed in the red category by Civitas, having previously been placed in this category by Spiked. Because like I said, everybody knows that Oxford is a woke shit show at this point and has been for a while now. Overall, Civitas placed 35% of universities in the red group, while the majority, 51%, were in the amber group and just 14% were in the green group, as I said earlier. Researchers found that speech could be curbed by perceived transphobic episodes in close to 2/3 of red universities and just under half of green universities. So even the green ones are not completely absolved of the lunacy that goes on in these places. They also noted that curbs to free speech due to external pressure groups occurred in a third of red universities and a fifth of amber universities. Which, let me tell you, it's not just there where it goes on. Government ministers have actually come out this morning saying they're going to stop some of this woke lunacy. It remains to be seen, because I don't really buy into what she's saying, but we can always be hopeful. At this point, it's kind of all we've got. It goes on, curbs on free speech due to cancel culture of open letters and or petitions are particularly prevalent, they said, adding that this had occurred in 69% of red universities and 48% of amber, showing, like I said, that most of the amber ones are on their way towards becoming red. It's a slippery slope of wokeness, and they are on their way down. The report found that just under a fifth of red and amber universities had cases of speakers being uninvited or no platformed. Well, let me tell you, that is a common occurrence, not just at universities, as I've already said. Earlier this month, Cambridge University dons prevailed in a free speech row after voting down an attempt by university chiefs to force them to be respectful of the diverse identities of others. Oh, so free speech actually took a victory against this woke lunacy and cancel culture. I can only imagine that loophole to get out of it will be gone soon. Let me tell you, these universities want to go woke, and they will certainly go broke in the end, I can guarantee it. 3 amendments put forward by academics who said they wanted to safeguard free speech were voted through on Wednesday night, leading the rebel dons to claim they had won by a landslide. Cambridge University's council proposed a series of updates to free speech rules earlier this year, but academics have argued that the changes are authoritarian, which they probably are. Let's be honest, the government is rolling out authoritarian shit as we speak and has been all fucking year. So it wouldn't surprise me that the universities are joining in with that. Here though, at least the academics seem to have won the battle there. The public is not even bothering to battle against Boris Johnson's bullshit. Hopefully that will start changing soon. Critics said the changes were no doubt meant well, but the vague nature of their wording meant that they could be used to undermine academics' freedom of speech rather than protect it. No, let me tell you now, they would not have been meant in any sort of way that would be good for you. They will be aimed at stifling the debate and setting you on the narrative that they want. Go against it and you will be cancelled, thrown out of your job, your house and everything else. This is something too many people have experienced at this point. A Cambridge University spokesman said that freedom of speech is a right that sits at the heart of the institution. What a fucking load of bollocks that is. Rigorous debate is fundamental to the pursuit of academic excellence, and the university will always be a place where freedom of speech is not only protected but strongly encouraged, they added. And I have to say, that is obviously a complete load of bollocks. We know that is not how they feel. Everybody knows about the cancel culture within universities and the education system at large. Shit, it's actually everywhere now if you think about it. The media are obviously some of the worst cultures, but social media is another bad one for it. But I have got to say, I do find it funny that lots of universities are heading towards the shit kicker red group when it comes to free speech. Hopefully, kids in the future will look at that and think, I ain't going to these shit shows. I don't want to be some woke tosspot, because let me tell you, shit weasels like that never get anywhere good in life.
There is a pattern consistent throughout history of oppressed people turning on the oppressors, slaves against their owners, the peasantry against the feudal barons, colonies, Mr. Verhofstadt, against their empires. And that is why Britain is leaving. And it doesn't matter which language you use, we are going, and we are glad to be going. We're off.